Audio Jungle.
Hello everyone, welcome to our group project video. Today we are excited to share our collaborative effort on interaction design technology for the elderly. Our project is about the digital devices which are used by elderly people. For our research, we have taken around 9 to 10 devices and then considered the devices which have comparatively bad reviews for our final prototype. These devices are ATM, TV remote and induction stove. First, we will begin with the ATM interface. The reviews we got from elderly people for ATM is about mapping of the buttons. The problem which the elderly people faced was the physical buttons was not accurately mapped to the buttons in the touchscreen. Due to this, they were not able to understand that which physical button to be pressed to perform any task in the ATM machine. So in our prototype, we have improved the button positions so that they can map them easily with the buttons in the screen. For the one who likes touchscreen more than the physical buttons, we have made the ATM interface touchscreen. Now let me show you the transitions in the ATM interface. This is our ATM interface and these are the 4 physical buttons on the both sides. After the user will insert the ATM card, he or she will encounter the screen to choose the language. Let's say the user will select the English language. In this interface, user will enter the PIN using the numeric buttons. The numeric and the physical buttons will be present below the screen. After entering the PIN, user will click on enter button. From this interface, user will select one of the transaction. Let's say user selected cash withdrawal option. From here, user will select his or her account type. Then the user will enter the amount that he or she wants to withdraw and then click on the enter. Now the transaction will be processed and after the cash comes out of the ATM, this interface will be shown and user will be asked to remove the ATM card. Now let me show you the transition when user will select the Hindi language.
So, after inserting the card, selecting language and entering the PIN, user will select one of the option from this interface. Let's say user selects balance inquiry option. Then user will select his or her account type. Let's say he or she selects savings account. This interface will be shown when request is being processed. After the request has been processed, user will able to see his or her available balance and then user will be asked to remove the ATM card. Now let me show you the transition when user will select the Hindi language. Now let's say user selects mini statement option from this interface. Then user will be asked to select his account type. Now let's say he selects savings account. This interface will be shown when the mini statement is being printed by the ATM machine and then user will be asked to collect the statement and remove the ATM card. Now let me show you the transition when user will select the Hindi language. So here is the feedback of our new prototype. After showing our ATM prototype to the elders, they were satisfied with our prototype. The mapping issue which they were facing earlier is resolved and they like the feature of adding touchscreen to ATM, which generally some of them were asking for, and they have not proposed any further changes.
Hello everyone. So now let's talk about remote control prototype. So our survey shows that old remote interface has many redundant buttons and also remote look bulky. The labels were not clear and buttons were small. So we created paper prototype of enhanced interface which we can see in the screen, in which we removed that redundant buttons and also we created buttons and labels larger. So now let's talk about the feedback. So user like this new prototype. They particularly like regularly usage buttons were larger and there is no difficulties in using them, and also remotes become less bulky. And this is our prototype which we made in Figma.
So now let's see the prototyping of induction stove. So the older interface of induction stove consists of plus and minus button for controlling the temperature. So the traditional user faces difficulty in controlling temperature because they are used to control the temperature using knob. So in our paper prototype, we replace those plus and minus button with knob, and yeah, you can use knob for both controlling the temperature and to set the timer of induction stove. And this is our Figma design of induction stove interface. And feedback of this Figma interface was that user found easy to control the temperature using knob, and there is also LED on top of each of the buttons, so user can see which button they have selected or not.